takes was one yes. So you can get rejected 100 times, hundreds of times, but if you get that one yes, that's all you really need to go on and progress your
Welcome
career.
to the game where the stories ignite. From the field to your heart, let's take flight. Every player, every coach with a vision in sight. Together we strive, united in the fight.
In today's episode, we are thrilled to have George Robert, a dedicated student athlete at Florida College in Temple Terrace, Florida. George is currently in his third year studying kinesiology with a pre-physical therapy focus while balancing a successful college soccer career. Playing as a midfielder and central defender, George showcases his talent not only with his college team but also with Brookhouse FC and USL 2, where he is committed to pushing his game to the highest level. With a strong background in leadership, having captained both his high school and club teams, George brings a winning mentality to every team he's part of. His passion for soccer extends beyond the pitch, as he constantly strives to improve his skills and knowledge, both as a player and a leader. Join us as we dive into George's journey, his drive for success, and the lessons he's learned along the way. George, thank you so much for coming on this podcast with me.
Yep, thank you for having me on. Excited to be here.
What initially sparked your passion for soccer? How has that passion evolved over the years?
Yeah, so it started. My dad's originally from England, so there's a big football heritage over there.
Okay.
And yeah, it started. I have an older sister. And at the time, she was like 5 years old playing rec soccer, and I would have to go to the games, and I would see her like while the game was going on, picking at flowers and all that, and I would just be on the sideline like, "Let me get on. I want to play. Like, I want to actually go after the ball to pick flowers." So yeah, after that, I got signed up for just rec soccer my first year, and I remember the first training session I did, I did really well, and then the coach came up to me, my dad, who was like, "We want to see if he could play with the at the competitive team or see or the travel team at the time." So yeah, I got into playing with the travel team there, and from there I've made some of my best friends, even from the young age. I've guys I played with all the way up till I was 17, 18 years old, and I'm still in contact with today. So yeah, just that started at Fusion Football Club, which is now known as Chargers, in
Mm,
the Tampa Bay area. So
okay.
yeah, I played on that club team for 14 years. I was captain for, I'd say, like 6 of those years, in the early youth um, age groups,
Mhm.
and I played as a 10, and I was never really a fast, athletic sort of player, but my coach, who was from Argentina at the time, he always thought I had a good soccer IQ from a young age, so he would just put me in the 10 and let me like try to create attacking moments for the team. So I played that most of my youth career, and yeah, that's how my youth career started.
Okay. So you said your dad's from England, right? I know they're very passionate about it. Was it like you have to play the sport, or did you get a chance to explore other options?
Yeah, he wasn't really too pushy on me, but
Mhm.
just naturally, like the Premier League would be on TV. I remember my first game I watched was a semifinal of the Champions League, and Ronaldo was on United at the time, and yeah, so it was just watching games like that and having the England games on TV, and it's just a big part of what my young life, just the TV, watching sports. And I did think about going to other sports, but as soon as it was really that moment where I saw my sister playing, and I was like, oh, I want to
Okay.
do that. And it was just the first sport I really got involved with.
Okay.
So yeah, just that from a young age. It was the first sport that was really introduced to me and my sister. And then yeah, from there I just went on to play.
Okay. You mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo. Was he one of the like inspirational players for you to keep striving to go to the highest level possible?
Yeah, Ronaldo was definitely a good role model for me as a kid. And unfortunately, it was around 2007, 2008 when I became a United fan. So he left pretty shortly
Okay.
after, which broke my heart at the time. But yeah, I would say another big role model for me was Wayne Rooney with how he
Okay.
played. Rooney was probably my favorite player growing up. He was just a very hard-headed uh, player in the first place, and yeah, he was a 10 as well at United. So yeah, I looked up to Rooney quite a bit.
Oh, okay. So, '06, '07. That's when the Dream Team Barcelona, they were playing that tiki taka. A lot of
Mhm.
kids in that time became fans of Barcelona. Was that something for same case for you, or is like, no, I prefer Wayne Rooney over here?
It was similar. It was well that season that I saw that Champions League game in the semifinals with United, they end up winning the Champions League. So
Okay.
um, yeah, I think that would probably played a big part. And at the time, like United were winning a lot of Premier Leagues, and that is just like the main coverage of soccer over here, or at least in my area, is just Premier League. So it was a lot of what was on TV. I was just go to that channel, and it would just be English Premier League, not really other leagues too much. So yeah, it was easier for me to follow because of how easily broadcasted it was to me.
The Premier League.
Yep.
Okay. Now you mentioned that you were the captain for your club in high school, right? So how did that shape the player you are now and the leader you are back at those times?
Yeah, definitely. Being a captain at a young age, it kind of put weight on my shoulders. Like I had to be the one to kind of step up and perform in moments for the team because when others were maybe needing questions or looking for inspiration, they would go to the coach, they would go to me when it's on the field, like because I was the one leading the team out there. So I would definitely say that gave me a very strong love for the game, especially at a young age, being a captain of the team. It was like it was reassuring from the coaches putting their trust in me. And when I'm like 8, 9, 10 years old, and I have that trust from the coaches, and they're choosing me to be the leader of a team, and that obviously makes a young kid feel pretty good. Um, and yeah, I'd say my love for the game started there. Um, I feel like I had that weight on my shoulders from a young age, and I kind of loved it.
Okay. So from a young age, you've been pretty much a leader, a captain for you and your teammates, right?
Yeah, so I had a injury called Osgood Schlatter's. It's kind of like a growing pain in the knee, and
Okay.
it can affect the tendon. So from ages like 8 to 13, I was like the captain of my youth team there. And then I started to have the problems with my knees, and my minutes dropped on the field. I was on the same team up until I was 16, before COVID hit. But those last 3 years at my time at Chargers, it was difficult for me to see playing time because of the problems I have with my knees. I would
Okay.
go out on the pitch with two big knee straps for almost every game or every practice, and uh, I don't know if whether from a young age, having that leadership put on me, that I felt like I couldn't miss a practice. So even when I
Okay.
was hurt or in pain, like I would never miss a practice. I just would always play through the pain, which might have, now looking back at it, might have hurt me moving forward. But yeah, just a it was a weird time because I had the same friends on the club team, same sort of group, but my role on the team went from being one of the star players from like around 9, 10 years old to being a player that is not really playing too much.
Okay.
And yeah, it was definitely a difficult part of my journey. And
Hmm.
junior year of high school, I decided to quit club soccer because I was just so fed up of like all the pain I was going through, and I felt like I was putting so much in, even though like I probably wasn't showing that I was worth of playing with my injuries. But it was a pretty taxing on me having to play through all that pain and not really getting
Okay.
a reward for it. But my I also played high school soccer as well. My freshman and sophomore year, I wasn't really playing too much. My freshman year, I was injured and I missed most of the year, and then my sophomore year, yeah, I just wasn't featuring too much. And I was we had a coach at the time, and he came up to me and was like, "We think you're a really talented player. Like we see you have a good vision for the game, but we don't think we can play you at the moment because of how athletically limited I was with injuries." So I decided to take that first part of the club season off, which here in Florida, the high school season's more the winter time. So
Hmm.
in fall, you play club and then you return in the spring after the high school season. I went to I took that time off and my body actually healed up quite a bit, and I noticed a big difference in pain. I could go back out there and run like I wasn't really able to before. And there was one night I went to a USF soccer game, which is a local D1 college to me.
Hmm.
And this dad from one of the players on our team came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you still playing soccer? Or how's your soccer going?" I was like, "Yeah, I stopped playing club." And then he come up to me, he was like, "There's no way you stop, like, because I'm planning to be your high school coach next year, and I was gonna make you captain." And that right there, just I remember it just sparked a click in my head. I was like, wait, there's someone that still believes in me or shows like he sees some potential in me, because I went from
Hmm.
not playing too much my sophomore year of high school, and this guy, he was on the sideline, he was seeing me warm up. He I played with his son at a young age, around eight, 7 years old, and
Okay.
we remember meet from then as well. So he came up to me and told me like I was gonna make you the main guy next year.
Okay.
And right after that, I started training almost every day. Like I would go to the fields with a couple of friends and just be out there for hours, just kicking a ball. And then I decided like, okay, I'm gonna give this another try for a club. I went to a local team in Wesley Chapel, and I was like, hey, can I join for a couple training sessions? Like I played here, which my club team is good before, but I wasn't playing too much. And then I went on this team and I was like, okay, maybe be able to make something happen here. I didn't try out. I just went to a couple trainings, and then they invited me to play with them for a showcase. And
Okay.
that weekend, COVID hit. It was so
Oh
everything
man.
shut down, and like I was pretty upset about it, but my hunger for getting back to playing was still there. So um, I just went to the fields for all of COVID, because we had a field like 5 minutes away from my house that was kind of open to the public, and
Okay.
it's an open space outside. So COVID wasn't like a huge issue in terms of leaving the house to go for that, because it's exercise. But yeah, I would just go there every day and train on my own or with one other person, do some passing drills. And um, after a few months of there, it was time for a new club season, for tryouts for new teams. And there's a club called Florida Premier now,
Hmm.
in Tampa. And it was the first year they brought in the ECNL program. They had 10 teams for the age group. So they had ECNL, ECNLR, NPL, CDL, just different levels of the system, and it spread across all Florida. But I went to the tryouts and I thought I did pretty well. And I made the second team there, the ECNLR. And yeah, from there I had that was a big accomplishment for me at the time, because I went from at 16 quitting soccer, not really playing too much on a team that um, I've been on for years, to uh, getting told that I was going to be a part of something big from the high school team. That really what
Okay.
sparked back my love for the game again. And I was able to get on probably the best team that I've been a part of in my life in the span of a year and a half. So it was crazy. year and a half for my playing career, but
Okay.
um, I'm very glad it happened. Uh,
Okay. So around age 16, you quit soccer, right? Was
yeah.
it like, I'm gonna quit for now, or you lost the passion for it, or did you lose confidence in yourself, or what was going through your through your
Yeah.
head at that moment?
So it was always like I always felt like I had a good IQ for the game, understanding for the game, but physically I was very
Mhm.
limited with the problem I had with my knees, which I still deal with, not the same problem, but the lack of mobility that I had from playing 4 years, 5 years in a row with an injury that or a growing problem that I just didn't let heal on its own. I just played through it, but it was more of a I could read the game well. The coaches recognize I read the game well, but I'm not able to perform what I want
Okay.
to do because the physical limitations that the injury had on me. Um, so it was more of like yeah, I think I can play at this level or a high level, but I can't do it because I'm physically unable to with
Okay.
the injuries I had. So it was more of just like I was fed up of feeling that way on the bench because I would see
Okay.
the games and I would be like seeing bad decisions or things I know I could do, but in my head, maybe like I understand why certain things were happening bad in games, but I
Hmm.
wasn't able to physically perform it due to the pain that I was going through having to play in
Okay.
first place. So it was pretty much just that, just the injury.
Okay. Okay. So before you quit, we mentioned again, you were going through this pain, right? How would you inspire your teammates that winning mentality while still going through that pain on your own?
So I would like try to tell myself like positive words, just telling myself like trying to keep myself high confidence, saying
Hmm.
I know I can do this and but I'm not able to physically do it. So if the problem I'm having is the physical ability to perform what I'm wanting in my head, there's probably something wrong that I need to fix. So that's when I decided it was like, yeah, I need to take the year off. Or I didn't know if I was going to return at that time. I didn't really plan on it. I actually played a little. I played my high school baseball team for my junior year at the beginning when I wasn't
Okay.
playing club because they had a spring or yeah, a fall baseball season. So I just joined for uh that and I wasn't good or anything, but I just did it with be my friends and it was more upper body, less stress on the legs. So
Okay.
um yeah, I just did that to hang out with friends and then when that coach came up to me and told me I was gonna be a big part, I went up to the baseball coach and like a week later I just quit the baseball team and I just went straight back to training soccer again. And
Okay.
because that belief and that trust is just all I needed, and my legs were feeling much better than they had before. And I was like, okay, I can really do this now. So yeah,
Okay. So once you told you're gonna be the captain for my team for the high school, right? What lessons did you learn about leadership, and how do you apply those lessons to your career in college and Brookhouse FC as well?
yeah. So what I learned there is self belief is everything, and also having a coach that believes in you is very important for being able to showcase what you want to do. Because if that moment never happened, or if I had didn't have a coach that came up to me and said, "Hey, like I see what you have, that talent in you." Um, I don't think that spark would have came back. So I did play on the same team for 10 years, and the coach knew me from a young age and how I love the game and how I was into it. But I never really took a risk leaving that team for something better because I was so settled there. But
Okay.
that would be my advice for my teammates or other people that might be struggling with confidence is that all it takes is for one coach to believe in you, to really show what you can do. So if it's not working at one place, don't be afraid to take opportunities or risks for the better. Trying to find that because it's the same policy I had when with recruiting for the college level is
Mhm.
all it takes was one yes. So you can get rejected 100 times, hundreds of times, but if you get that one yes, that's all you really need to go on and progress your career. And you can show what you can do if you have that person that believes in you. So
Okay. Yeah. How do you handle situations as being the captain and the leader that your team needs? How do you handle situations where your team isn't performing as expected?
when they're not performing as expected, I would go back to keeping myself accountable first. I'll look in the mirror and be like, what am I not doing? Or how can I be a better teammate for my peers or for the coaches? Or what can I do to help improve? And there's a lot of things with a team not playing well.
Hmm.
And it's not, it could be from the players just not listening to instructions or coaches not getting things right or players not being coachable because their ego is too high. That's something you see all the time. But um, as a captain, I just try to get the best understanding as I could from a young age of what the situation is and how it can improve. I look back to when I was captain my junior and senior year of high school, and when things weren't going well, I never was really a loud, quiet or a loud captain. Um, I never was one screaming on the pitch. I was more of a captain by leading by example. But
Okay.
I would go into trainings after maybe a bad defeat and just try to spin the energy around and make it positive again, which can be tough after bad losses. But being able to be that person that can try clear the team's head after a big loss or um, try just to flip the switch from being thinking so negatively and try to spin it towards positive thinking that you can get a result again the following
Okay.
game.
Well, so as you look back at your journey, right?
Sorry, one
And
second. Sorry, one second. Um, sorry, continue. Sorry, my mom walked in.
sorry, okay. You good?
Yeah,
Okay. What qualities do you think are the most important to be a captain or a leader on a soccer team?
yeah, that's definitely changed as going through the different levels. You have to be pretty hard headed. You have to understand when you get older, you're gonna have a lot more personalities and different sort of heads you have to look after in a locker room. Where as a in my youth career when I was captain there, um, there's still a lot more learning going on, a lot more understanding of the game because we got people coming in that maybe haven't played for too long, and then we got people that played for X number of years. But at the college level, you have a bunch of grown men. I haven't been a captain at the college level yet, but just looking around, I know it's a completely different task at hand because you have, like I said, a bunch of grown men in a locker room with a lot of different perspective that you might have than yeah you might have. So it's more of a being able to handle those situations, not necessarily soccer related, but
Hmm.
even just as men and everybody has different responsibilities from when they're 6, 7 years old to when they're in their 20s in the college game. So just understanding how people have different perspectives and upbringing that you have that shape them differently to you, that you have to kind of understand where they're coming from um, as you progress in the older ages.
Okay. And how it do you recall a time where you had to do a difficult decision as a captain or the leader in the team?
I could say one recently. I don't know if my coach will watch this, but after a game this season, we were just in a bad spot as a team, and I'm not captain of the team, but I felt like after the game I had to go up to the coach, and I sat in his office for a few hours just after the game, just talking to him about problems that I saw as a player perspective. And this is in a difficult spell where I found like I wasn't getting the minutes I wanted, and the results weren't good. And a lot of people I saw were struggling on the team. But it's like at those moments, I feel like someone has to step up and say something, that's whether that could be a decision that, causes problems, or if you don't bring it up, like nothing will get accomplished, sort of thing. Like you can kind of let things that you see, that you want to fix, go on, but if you're just always trying to please, your boss, or whoever's like leading you, there's not much progression going to be made if you don't address or build off problems that you have. So that was definitely a moment. After those games, I did that. We had two conference games, and we were able to win both, and that set us up pretty nicely for how we are doing in conference standings. And um, yeah, that was a proud moment for that. But there's still a lot of the season left. That was this season, so that was definitely a moment I can look back on, and was like I was proud of myself there for taking a risk that maybe I haven't done in the past years. Um, yeah, and I've done that several times in like my high school days where like I didn't see something right, and I would just go up to a coach and say like, "Hey, like I see this problem, and what do you think like the solution could be for that?" Because getting that perspective as a player and then giving it to your coach, that might be what's best for moving the team forward in terms of how the coach can help you fix the perspective that you have, which may be right or wrong,
Mhm.
and share that with the whole team. So, yeah, I think just not being afraid to ask questions and
Okay.
go up to the coach and or whoever your teammates and try to get different perspectives, seek solutions. That's probably the main part of leadership or captaincy that I think is most important.
Okay. How would you do if you're part of the problem? Let's say
Yeah.
you're not performing at a high standard. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're part of the problem. Would you still go up to your coach and be like, "Hey, coach, you know what? I feel like I'm not performing," or would you just stay quiet? Like you said.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you think you're part of the problem as well, or you don't know if you're part of the problem, I think that conversation is always just healthy to have,
Mhm.
um, with whoever is leading you at the time. Because if you don't know, if you feel like something you're not getting what you feel like you should be getting, or you're not seeking results of what you're maybe hoping for after the work you put in, I think it's important to have those conversations so you can get led in the right direction to what to work on, what to improve on. And if you're not getting what you want from it, you always have to see how you can become better as a player. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to progress in the game, and this goes for any level, but if you
Mhm.
think you're all perfect and you think you don't need, or you can't improve, and you think like you're not part of the problem, um that's when you have to go and get advice. Or because if you are if you're not thinking you're part of the problem, then you wouldn't be playing at that level, you would be playing
Mhm.
higher. So you can always get different perspectives, and try to get different opinions and stuff, whether it's good or bad, but you kind of have to take it all in and see how you can improve in
Okay.
general.
How would you adapt your leadership style to the different mm, teams that you've played so far, from club, high school? And I know you say you're not a captain for your college, right? But you still got the leadership, you know. How do you adapt to those different teams?
I think a lot of it is personnel. Um, I think some teams I played on in the past have been uh, people from a lot more diverse backgrounds, and if you don't
Okay.
know how to deal with that, or if you don't understand how different people communicate their emotions or expressions, that can being able to get your message across will be a lot more difficult because
Okay.
some people will interpret certain ways that you communicate differently. So I'd say that's a pretty big part of it. And this past summer when I was playing USL 2 for Brookhouse,
Hmm.
we had a lot more European based players. And in my college team, we have a lot more Hispanic heritage. So um, it's just being able to understand how certain people communicate and what works
Okay.
for them, what choice of words, whether you have to be harder with some players or talk more calmly with others. Because if I could yell, for instance, we have a Hispanic center back, I could yell at him and be very tough with him, but we have other players on the team that I could yell at them that same way that I yell at him, and they wouldn't take it well
Right.
and
Okay.
might start to get back at you. So you just got to know who you're communicating to, most importantly.
Adapting to the different types of people and cultures.
Yep, one hundred
Okay.
percent.
How important do you think it is to for American soccer players to experience, like you said, in your in Brookhouse, you have a lot of European base. I think your club or high school was a lot of Hispanics, right?
Yeah, yeah,
How important do you think it is for soccer players to uh, get a taste of different cultures?
yeah. I think it's very important, especially here in the U.S. because our youth system is very different to those of abroad leagues or
Hmm.
countries. Here, we see getting to the top academy teams in our local areas a very huge accomplishment, which it is. But if you look in the broad scheme of things with teams in Europe, if you just think that's the best you can do without pushing over and trying to seek opportunities to play in these different countries, you can be blinded to how well you can progress in general. If you think that there's not a better level for, especially in the U.S. system, than what you're playing at, which is like, let's say you have a kid playing MLS next,
Hmm.
um, and they're very proud and like hold that to a high place in their head. They don't maybe understand that there is like progression off that as well. Like there is opportunities to play in other countries that is at a higher standard than what you might be getting away with here, which is the that might be the top level here, but it's not in the world. So
Okay.
um, I definitely say I learned a lot from playing this summer, seeing with guys that played in Premier League academies growing up and different levels, different pro tiers in the US.
Okay.
Um, from there, it really opened my mind to how much you can do with connections, different skills, and um, maybe different attributes that you might not think were so important um, growing up, but in the end of the day, those attributes could be what gets you that opportunity to play at the next level. So,
Okay. So, as a soccer player, George, what changes would you like to see change in the youth system here in United States?
in the U.S., I would like it is tough, but if we were able to integrate the USL and MLS or just have more tiers prevalent, because it's a bit confusing when you look at our professional system. And I feel
Hmm.
like that goes all the way down to the academies and the youth teams. If there is more of a pathway to pro in our US system, we do have some like MLS Next teams that have their youth team from the MLS playing in the MLS Next, but there's also the majority that are not tied to any pro team,
Hmm.
and that their next step is playing college after finishing the youth years at the club. So giving more opportunities to those overseas or getting a way for our youth players to get seen in those top teams across Europe would be highly beneficial, I think, for the U.S. as a whole. And you have seen quite a few that started to improve recently, but we need more and more of that for sure, because we have a lot of talent here that goes wasted because they don't know the direction to go here because it's very unclear.
Okay. Would you like to see that regulation and promotion implemented a little bit?
I think it would help in general. I think anytime there's more competition and more weight to what you're doing, it helps a lot. Also, it would allow for youth players to be integrated a bit more at a young age. I would use the example because he played at the club that I played on my senior year at Florida Premier, but we
Hmm.
have a player named Santi Castaneda.
Okay.
And he played from 16 years old at UPSL, which is a semi-pro tier here in the U.S. And he was able to play in that league, and you could see his development grow rapidly, playing against older men at that young age, which a lot of people don't really have the chance here to do because you just play at your age group. And from there, he was able to get the skills to sign for in a third division team
Okay.
over in Germany, and now he's starting for a Bundesliga 2 team at 19 years old. So
Wow. Okay.
it's very cool to see how a player like that who was integrated, he was one of the first, I'd say, in this area to integrated in a men's team at a young age, was able to develop so rapidly um, and be able to be a big part of a big team over there in Germany. So if we could
Okay.
have more players like that who you see that talent at 16 years old, uh, not just playing up levels like U19s. If let's say you have a 15-year-old playing U19, but getting them involved with the men's game because it's completely different than the youth game. I think we'd see a lot more stories like what we you could see with Santi.
Okay. Do you think playing them too young though against like man can damage their development? You know, like Freddie Adu, he came in young and then after a while he just got lost. Do you think that can hurt a younger player?
Uh, it can, but it's more of coaching them through it, I'd say. So, it's obviously those first few games you don't maybe want to implement them in a huge role straight away,
Hmm.
but slowly integrating them with the team, maybe getting like 10 minutes here, 15, 20, slowly building them up, building their confidence that they can play at that level. Also, as a coach, understanding like can they play at that level,
Okay.
um, or do they still need development? What do they need to work on? So I feel like it could be a good baseline for coaches to see how their youth players can improve, especially those top talents that you see at the clubs, whether they are just standouts there. Just push them as much as you can and see how they respond to the different tests that they give.
Okay. With the World Cup coming in here and we got also got the Club World Cup coming in next year. How do you think that's gonna affect the overall soccer landscape here in the United States again?
I feel like every time there's a World Cup, especially with the U.S. being involved, it just brings more excitement to the youth players. But having it here, hopefully, those kids at a young age will see how much passion and excitement the fans bring.
Okay.
I'm assuming that a lot of the games will be sold out, or hopefully that's the case. But if they can see how much people in the world really care about this sport and are passionate about it, that just inspires the youth to want to get involved as well, so they can be that guy playing on the field in front of thousands. So I think it's definitely exciting for the future of the U.S. men's soccer hosting a World Cup. But just having those, we need to figure out a way for those players that are developing to have a good chance of being one of those players that actually can end up on the field, not just
Okay.
inspired in their career or their playing go to waste.
Okay. Do you think it's gonna affect again the development of the younger players, the World Cup being here? Because a lot of people are gonna watch it here, or is it gonna benefit it?
I think it will benefit, especially if US perform well, because if you can see that the team's doing well, that might bring more eyes to our youth teams and be like, hey, like they actually do have something going on here, positive that maybe the teams in the top tier can say, hey, we might need to look a bit more over here in the US when recruiting talent. So I think it will only benefit and also bring in more players that want or trying to get involved in the game. So when there's more players involved, you have a larger pool to select from in terms
Okay.
of talent. So yeah, I think it will only be positive from the World Cup in terms of
Okay.
the development for the U.S. men's soccer.
Will you be going to any of the World Cup games?
Um, I'd like to think so. I would have to see where they're at, but yeah, I would definitely like to get out to a couple for sure.
Isn't there gonna be some in like Orlando or Miami?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some in Miami.
Okay.
I'll look into. But yeah, it would definitely going to at least one game. I'm not sure who, but we'll see who's
You're
playing.
gonna be there though.
Yeah, I want to be there for sure.
Any teams you want to see for sure though? Like let's
Um,
say oh, I want to see Argentina come out to Florida or
definitely if I can England because I am part English, so
okay.
uh, that is like the team I root for internationally. So definitely England. Just yeah, USA, I guess, but like I don't know, just those two for sure. USA, England, or
Okay.
someone with maybe a team with a United player on it, just so I can watch the
Okay.
United player. But yeah, England would be the number one answer for sure.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, how do you think the United States gonna do in the World Cup with Mauricio Pochettino?
I'm gonna have to see a few games coming up with qualifying. I do think at home there will be a different pressure, and I'm not sure exactly how this team deals with it yet. So,
Okay.
um, if I had a guess, I'd say it's probably group stage or like round of 16. But I'm
You
not
don't see them advance more than the round of 16s?
as of yet. No,
Oh
I
wow,
think there's a
okay.
lot. We still have a lot more work to do
Okay.
as
You
a
think it was a
country.
good decision for getting him on?
Pochettino.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I definitely think there needed to be change from Greg Berhalter. So that is a coach that has the ability to manage top players, top teams.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how he does at the international level with the US. So yeah, I think it's an exciting project for sure.
Okay. Did you not like Berhalter?
Uh, I wasn't a huge fan of him. It was just like there was a lot of off the field stuff, and the team just wasn't playing great at times.
Okay.
I didn't watch too much U.S. soccer, so I can't say I have the most valid opinion on that. But um,
Okay.
yeah, I forgot the last tournament we played. I think it was the Copa. It's a good
Okay.
example. Yeah, I didn't go too great. Um, Even though there was a red card in one of the games that hurt the U.S. quite a bit. But yeah, I think there was a need for a time for change and another push to see
Okay.
how great this squad of players can become.
Okay. Yeah. So were you against getting rehired? Because he got fired and then they rehired him for a little bit. Were you against him getting rehired?
To be honest, I don't know too much about that whole situation,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm not sure if I can really add too much. Just I'm not too aware
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the whole history with that.
All right. All right. So we mentioned before, all the eyes are gonna be on here in the United States, and you said the recruiting process, so players can go out. And you mentioned that you want to play at the highest level possible, right? What steps are you taking to reach that goal, and what's the highest level for you?
That's a good question. I it's for me, it's more of one step at a time. So this summer, I was able to, or this past summer, I was able to get on a USL 2, which I was happy of, but my minutes there was limited. So it's more of finding that opportunity again, whether it's at Brookhouse or a different team. It's just a progression off the level I played and seeing how well I can adapt and figure out how to I can make an impact at that level.
Okay.
Um, and just understanding uh, how far different opportunities can get me in terms of I could go to a team and it's not click for me, but understanding why things are going wrong and why it's not clicking for me, where I can improve as a player and what areas that I'm lacking sufficiently that I can go and attack and make sure, okay, I checked that box off. Let me go back to that level. Try to see if I can do it again. If I can't, just seeing more room for me to improve. I think is the main thing in terms of progressing my career, and then just keep seeking opportunities and testing the limits. I think
Okay.
is what's most important because, like I said, at the end of the day, all it takes is one yes for a lot of progression to happen in your career. Um, and if you can take advantage of it, uh, that's all that matters really. So just one step at a time for myself, seeing how if I can just keep getting better every single year and progressing. I'm sure good things will come out of it, but I have to see what I need to improve on and actually improve on it rather
Okay.
than just pointing out the problems.
Okay. So playing for Brookhouse in USL too, right? What
Yeah.
challenges have you faced that's different from college soccer?
Yeah. So at Brookhouse, it was a lot different because at the team I played last year for college, I was getting a lot of minutes. I think like the least amount of minutes I had in a game last season was 60 or 65 minutes. So I was getting a good chunk of minutes every single game. And then at Brookhouse, um, I only made 3 appearances the whole year. So it was very interesting to see the different sort of players you're playing with because not only do you have guys from the NAIA level where I play at, but you have guys that have played pro before. You had guys that playing at top Division 1 schools. We had a guy on the national team for Puerto Rico, and
Wow. Okay.
you're having all sorts of different levels of players. And really,
For
there,
Brookhouse.
I yeah, Brookhouse,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I really there. I was just seeing how much I can learn from those players and sort of how I can mold it into making myself a better player,
Okay.
um, and seeing how their assets, what got them to where they're at, and how maybe I can use what I have to get me to the highest level I can get at. So it was just a very eye-opening experience of how the soccer professional system works and how much connections can go for you as well.
Okay.
Um, a lot of playing soccer the next level is not exactly how skillful you are, but also like that is a big part of it. But uh,
Okay.
of who you know and how you can get to the next level. A lot of it is building off um, being able to communicate well with others, being coachable, being able to when these moments you're not maybe getting the minutes that you want, but being able to go up and uh, get criticism or things to improve on and actually try to improve on it. I feel like there's a lot of people that maybe that they're not getting what they want and always just opt the way out or try to try to maybe quit on situations that there is other alternatives that you can try to do. So just being able to be coachable, being able to uh, learn in situations where maybe things aren't going best for you, so you
Okay.
can just grow on it moving forward. Uh, so yeah, that was definitely a big thing I picked up from the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, just being able to learn from what why things didn't go my way and just try to make sure it doesn't happen again. And if it
Okay.
does happen again, the same thing, just try to learn and grow from there.
Okay. So as you're playing with players that are, one was from the Puerto Rico national team, right? And Premier League academies and Division One college. What aspect of your game do you think you can improve a lot more so you can reach maybe their level, or you're already on their level and go above their level?
Yeah, and I touched on it before. Just growing up, I always had a lot of injuries and stuff. So
Hmm.
a big one for me is just athleticism in general, the
Okay.
speed of play. Uh, I definitely need to improve on. Being able to take a touch confidently into space and being able to beat the man in front of you is one thing I got to improve on. I've never been the fastest player off the mark or um, quick or super high up in the air winning headers and stuff. That's never been my game. But I know that I need to improve on that. And I also I look back to my college career so far. I came in as an attacking midfielder, and then last year we didn't have uh, a center back, a steady center back that on the team. So I had to drop into a deeper role just to see minutes on the field. So
Okay.
being open minded to how you can improve the team and help the team um, is very important as well. But for me, it goes back to making sure my body's healthy, making sure that I can perform what I want to uh, show in my head physically as well, being able to translate that. And in terms of understanding different situations, receiving the ball in tight areas, and maybe not taking the extra 1, 2 touches and losing the ball in a situation where your team can get punished with by the other team scoring. But being able to understand when to do certain turns or extra touches or keep the ball, progress the ball. Just there's a lot of different aspects of the game that I can improve on, and yeah, making sure my body is healthy to do so is the first and foremost. Because yesterday in my game, I did pull my hamstring again, so I'm going to be out for a little bit. So
Oh wow.
just
Okay.
being healthy is a very important thing as well.
Okay.
Recovery.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of your soccer career so far?
Most rewarding. I'd say the relationships I made with my teammates.
Okay.
Um, I met a lot of different people in my playing career that I've been friends with for many years. And I feel like that experience is untradeable. Um, and I haven't touched on it yet, but in my recruiting process, coming out of finishing my senior year of high school, I was wanting to play college soccer, and that first year, even though I had schools that I was in contact with, it was just financially, it wasn't an opportunity for me to take at the time. So that first year of college, I just went to community college, trained on my own, and just worked a lot just to save up money. And that's a sacrifice that I had to make where I would see my friends going to regular universities or and having like the time of their lives there. But
Yeah.
I was still trying to uh, pursue my dream, which is playing soccer at the highest level I can. So
Okay.
um, being able to go through tough moments like that, where maybe you don't have that many people around you, and go to this environment where you're just surrounded by your teammates and your peers, and you have teachers that is very connected, especially being at a smaller school. You just really appreciate the people that you have around you, and the connections you make. So yeah, that's definitely the most rewarding part about playing. I'd say.
Yeah, it seems to be like the friendships you create with within your team, you know, many times they're like lifelong friendships.
Yeah, definitely. And lifelong experiences you can bring with you, and
Hmm.
all these experiences that you have with them or with others, it's always learning opportunities to become a better person at the end of the day. So being able to meet as many people as possible, get as much perspective as you can on life in general,
Okay.
um, is very important just to growing as a person.
Okay. No, I agree with you there completely. The friendships we make. So I know we mentioned that you're a Manchester United fan, right?
Yeah.
If you could play for any professional team though, any professional team, which one would it be and why?
Uh, I'd say, well, obviously a dream would be Manchester United, but if we're thinking like realistically, uh, I'd say well, the Rowdies is like the local team. I love Tampa Bay, so staying
Okay.
like close to home would be a dream for me, especially if I can look after my family and stuff while being local. I think that would be like a dream situation, but
Okay.
not really one team in particular. I just more of it's more just seeing how far I can push myself. Yeah. So in terms of pro teams, I wouldn't say there's a team like, oh, I have to play for this one, but it's more of just seeing how far I can push myself and
Okay.
what level I can bring myself to. So
So Tampa Bay would be close.
yeah, staying close to home
Okay.
would be a plus. But yeah, not really a particular team. Dream team, Manchester United, but yeah.
Um, is there a time when you're gonna be like, or what time would you be like, you know what, I have to hang up the boots. I can't no more. I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, that's a good question, especially with as college is winding down. Um, and I have teammates that go through the same thing, are deciding whether they're gonna try to make that push for pro, which might not be as pretty of a lifestyle at first,
Hmm.
or especially guarantee like a solidified lifestyle. Then maybe just going with getting a regular job that they can get from their degree.
Okay.
So for me, it's all about progression, the reasonable timeline. So I'm 21 years old right now, so I know that my time to get in the pro system is really within the next few years, if not that sustainability
Hmm.
financially uh, is going to be at question in the long term. So it's really testing as much waters as I can in
Okay.
this current moment, seeing how far I can push myself. and also making sure I'm ready for that level as well, because you don't
Okay.
want to get the opportunities and not be ready for it and
Right.
have the dream end in a snap, even though you can continue after, but you want to make the decision when you know you are
Mhm.
ready to play at that level. So um, definitely, I'd say for me, I have to make a decision after I get my degree.
Mhm.
Uh, if I'm going to keep pushing, trying to seek opportunities, and also just maximizing what I'm doing the last 2 years in terms of getting my name out there
Okay.
to the next level is really important for me.
So right after college, you still gotta try to pursue professional?
Um, it's tough to say. It's more of just working as hard as I can, hoping and we're also working towards it. The opportunity coming where I'm
Okay.
able to put myself in a situation where that chance for a professional contract is there. But for me as a student athlete, like the degree is getting that degree is important first of all, and having that plan B there. But I'm gonna do as much as I can to try to make my dreams come true. So being able to put myself in the best situation and to go do it, I'm gonna do that. But whatever happens, happens, and that's life. So
Okay. Jay DeMerit debuted became professional like around 27. 3 years later, he was at the World Cup. So you might be the next Jay
yeah,
DeMerit.
you never know. That's the thing. But I think I'll keep playing as long as I can at a competitive level.
Okay.
Whether that's college, UPSL, or semi-pro. If I can't go pro, I'm gonna do what I can to be on the pitch and give myself that opportunity to do so. So yeah, it is a question you go back and forth in your head a lot about.
Hmm.
It's really how bad you want it, and if you really believe you can do it in your head, I believe whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. So um, just working relentlessly at that goal. If that's what I'm gonna do, is what's most important. But for right now, it's tough because I'm injured, so I have to like get healthy first. But
Of course, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So being injured and playing through your injuries when you were younger, what advice would you, as you look back, what advice would you give your younger self now?
I would definitely say eat healthy and recovery is everything because
Okay.
I would go out to the field, not do too much of a warm up, and go and shoot for 2 hours constantly and just ripping a ball at a goal. And um, yeah, I definitely can say like that. I can feel that now, but yeah, just making sure your recovery as well, your stretching, your power output in terms of when you do movements is there, and if there's limitations, get it sorted. Because not only is my hamstring pulled, I have like Achilles tendonitis and all sorts of little injuries that I deal with when playing. So just addressing them early
Okay.
and try not to feel like you have to play with it. If you have any problems, get it sorted because the health of your body, even after you stop playing, is very important to keep up. So you can be moving freely as long as you can.
Yeah, no, speak up. If you're having a problem, just say something. You say
Yeah,
it. You don't just
definitely. You don't have to push through it. Obviously, in certain moments of games, you can push through it and finish the game out. But if you have problems, really, especially in the youth career, just get it addressed early, so you can have more longevity to your career
okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, both as a player and professionally in the sports industry?
in the sports industry. So I did a kinesiology, which if you don't know, it's a physical. You can do PT, all sorts of health related fields,
Okay.
and I want to be if soccer doesn't go well, a physical therapist. And for me, that I at least have that one-on-one care with athletes and people who are also trying to achieve their dreams. And even if they're not athletes coming to me, just helping people with their health in general, because I know how much mental strain that has put on me, having injuries myself, and just how much joy you can bring to somebody else's life, as simple as just giving them some treatment, so they can feel better when moving
Okay.
around. So uh, that's how I think I would be still involved with sports, just helping, if it's not me, helping those who are coming next to have the best shot achieving their dreams.
Okay. So yeah, you still be somehow involved in the sport, in the game.
Yeah. Either way, if I'm not playing, I want to be at least helping others
Okay.
to play. So
Would you ever consider coaching? No.
I coached a U8 team
Oh
for
wow. Okay.
um it was only a handful of weeks, just a rec soccer league, and maybe not that age group, but I'd look into it when I'm older, maybe coaching like a youth team when I'm
A little older.
yeah, if I, let's say I have like a son or a daughter that wants to play, I'd consider coaching like their club team.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't say it's like my a huge dream of mine, but maybe one-on-one coaching as well.
Okay.
I would look into, but yeah, I would try to stay involved in the game some way somehow. So see,
Coaching U8, that's a tough bunch of
yeah,
group right there. That's a really hard. How'd you get
and
into coaching U8s there?
we just had a opportunity with my college coach. He like knew this coach of a local club team, and they needed a few guys for uh like a spring uh rec league to help coach out, and I volunteered. And yeah, it's tough with the 7 year olds because
Yeah.
you tell them one thing and then they go running away with the ball and then just not listening. And then you have to, it was, I did my first training session with one of my teammates and it didn't go well because we didn't have too much experience coaching like such young kids. But, and then you see one of
Mhm.
the older coaches and like they have to make like different analogies with like toys that kids might be playing with. Like
Right, right.
I think it was like we set up a grid and there was like two cones and the kids had to like dribble through the cones, uh,
Okay.
and he would call them like galaxies, like just like so they're interested
Okay.
and play little games like sharks and minnows just to make it seem fun,
Hmm.
just to keep everybody engaged at first. So yeah, it was definitely not any Pep Guardiola tactics with the 7 year olds, but um, yeah, it was fun though. It was fun.
It must have tested your patience though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I did work in a trampoline park when I was in high school as well.
Okay.
So I was used to people not or little kids like just not following the
Not
rules
listen.
and stuff. So, but yeah, that was a nice little fresh reminder. They do that in soccer as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no. So I know this question sounds almost the same as another one before, but what advice would you give a younger player that's coming up that wants to follow a path similar to yours?
yeah, I would definitely say like if this is or if you have a dream and you want to pursue it, just because you fail and or feel like you can't do it anymore, there's always other uh, options and opportunities available for you out there that you don't know if, that are there, but you have to always keep searching. I don't. I think if you can't fail if you never quit. So
Okay.
um, that would be one for me. Like the amount of friends that I've played with growing up that I've seen have a lot of quality in terms of play. But when they get to graduating high school or that last stage, they decide to step away from the game. But they come back like a couple years later saying, "Oh, I wish like I did this, and kept trying to play." it just you got to look for the opportunity that works best for you. Like
Okay.
a lot of people also that I played with out of high school are like, oh, I want to go D1, D2, like I want to play at the top tier straight away. But you don't they don't really consider going to like a smaller school first or going to a smaller team first and just continuing to work on their development.
Okay.
Um, just I'd say go where you can play the most and get as much eyes on you as possible.
Okay.
Um, being able to still have joy for the game and play, even though it may not be at the levels that you want, but you're at least still improving, so you can get there one day. So that would be my advice. Just keep moving around, or if you're not getting what you want, um, or you're not achieving what you want, just keep looking for more opportunities because it will come if you're working hard.
Okay. So keep moving around, keep looking for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that one. That's nice and simple. What's next for you, George?
What's next? I'm gonna try heal up. Um, I'll probably we did have a game tomorrow. Actually, just got canceled with the hurricane coming in,
Oh,
but
okay.
uh, for me, finish out season strong. Hopefully, get back for last couple of conference games that we have. Right now, we're in the top four out of I think 12. I'm not sure how many teams exactly in our conference, but as of right now, we do have a spot in the tournament. So making sure that the team can get there, that would be a huge achievement for us. And also, if I can play a big part in that in the playoffs or getting close to it, that would be ideal. So finishing college season out strong, finding a opportunity for the summer as well. I think that's big uh a big thing for me, especially being at a smaller school, having the
Okay.
opportunity to mix in with players that play at the top big schools. I feel like just uh, opens up the connections you have
Okay.
in terms of what you can do next. So just keep looking to improve, make an impact what I can now in this
Okay.
current moment, and just keep working hard and try to progress little by little.
Okay. So as you look back to your whole journey, reflect on it. What legacy do you hope to leave behind for your community?
Um, I hope to leave behind like just never give up, even though it's cliche,
Hmm.
because I was at a point I quit soccer. I graduated high school. I didn't have a college team to play for, or I was just doing community college and working. But at the end of the day, like I just stayed true to myself and my dreams, and I try to find a way that works for me. That might not be the most glorious route that you could have, but it's something I'm still happy with. And a lot of my teammates who I grew up with, like they I've been after my at a game where I played well recently, but it was nice seeing like the messages I have just from people I played with like 10 years ago saying like they're proud of me for still playing and um because there was some difficult moments in my career, but I just decided to seek solutions rather than using excuses for me to stop.
Okay.
So if you have a dream that you want to achieve, just keep going at it, whether it takes 1 year or 10, just keep trying to achieve what you want in your life because there's only one of it. So,
Okay. So instead of feeling like a victim, you kept on through finding a solution where you could do
yeah,
better.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Where can people know more about you, George?
They can follow me on Instagram, George underscore Roberts underscore 10. And then I also on my LinkedIn, I do post like soccer updates with my career. I don't know my exact app, but if you look up George Roberts, you might see my page. And yeah, I post quite a lot of my soccer updates
Okay.
with results on my Instagram. And yeah, and also on LinkedIn. So if you
Okay.
want to keep up with my career, that's probably the place to be.
Okay. Any last comments you want to or advice you want to give to our audience?
I just want to thank you for having me on here and being able to share my story with others. And I appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me and do this because I've enjoyed it. So I appreciate you. And for the others out there, just keep following your dreams and working hard at it.
Okay. The last couple questions I got, they're kind of silly. They're a little bit dumb. Okay.
Yeah,
If you had to coach a game in zero gravity, how would you train your players to handle it?
I would train them to let the ball do the work.
Okay.
So I would have them not necessarily worry too much about how they move around, but more of how they can be efficient passing the ball to
Okay.
create opportunities to score.
Okay. If you could have any animal as your sidekick, but you had to be wearing tiny sunglasses, which animal would you pick?
As a sidekick, I would probably pick a dog. I
Uh,
think, uh,
with tiny
yeah.
sunglasses?
Wait, the dog with tiny sunglasses, or
Yeah, yeah. If you could have any animal as your sidekick, but you had to be wearing tiny sunglasses,
how to
which
be?
animal would you pick?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'll do a dog. I'm not gonna lie, I'll do a dog. Yeah,
Okay. What's the weirdest thing you ever convinced someone to believe?
to believe. Weirdest thing I convince someone to believe. I have no idea how to answer this. I'll just say United's the best team in the world. I mean, they are, but yeah, I just had to convince someone that there was nobody better than United, and then you just bring up the history. But yeah, I
Okay.
don't know.
What's your secret talent that even you don't know about?
Secret talent, like, I think that I don't know about.
Uh-huh.
I'd say the ability to bring up others around me. I'd say I feel like I just try to say little nice things
Okay.
to my teammates or my peers. And I don't know. I hopefully I help build up their confidence as well. I
Okay.
I'd hope that that would do it,
That's your
but
secret talent.
yeah, I'd hope so. But I'm not sure.
All right.
Maybe video creation because I did
Are
I
you
had
are
a
you good at
page.
video creation?
Yeah, I had a page I did a while back. It was called n.g.footy on social media, and we did a bunch of soccer videos, and a few of them got a couple million views. So it was
Wow. Okay.
yeah, I'd say my eye for that maybe.
Okay. If animals could talk, which animal do you think would be the rudest?
Rudest,
Hmm.
a cat for sure.
You think
Definitely a
so?
cat. Yeah, the
Okay.
cats are feisty. They would say some not so nice things.
If a soccer ball could talk, what advice do you think it would give to the players?
I think the ball would tell the players to pass or not I think it would be like keep the ball so
Okay.
they don't get stuck in 50-50s. They don't
Okay.
want they don't want to get hit twice, but I think they would just say keep the ball and pass simple because it hurts less. I don't know.
All right. And the last one I got is, how do you handle if the opposing team brings a dragon as a mascot?
The opposing team means a dragon as a mascot. Um, I think I would do probably get one of the coolers and put ice on it so it can't breathe fire.
All right, that's cool. I like that one. All
Yeah,
right, that's it, George. Thank you so much for coming on
of
here and
course.
sharing your story
Appreciate you
with
having
me.
me on here. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Don't forget, the field's empty, but the conversations will be back.
Welcome to the game where the stories ignite. From the field to your heart, let's take flight. Every player, every